Hi and welcome to the channel. Now today's video is about this Sansui 1000X receiver that I bought recently. I've done a few little bit of modifications to it, changing a couple of transistors, and I must admit the sound has improved, and it's improved a little bit further as well when I swapped out the 1815 that I did replace the 40 transistors with to a 2SC2240. But I'll leave a link to that video at the top, but like I say, since that video I've actually replaced the transistor again to a better sounding transistor. I would have said it's a little bit more open, and it's got a bit more tighter bass, which is great. So I'm pleased at the way things are going. So the next thing I wanted to do is I've changed the bulbs. Just going to show you a picture of the bulbs there that was in there, and all I've done is change them for some of these LED. These are cool white ones I put in here. It's pretty straightforward. Just take the top off, take these knobs off, take the nest pulls off. Then after that it's just 5 screws holding the panel. You slide the panel out, the tuner dial panel out, and you've got access to them bulbs. That's pretty straightforward. Now hopefully I'm going to tell you or show you, I'm not going to tell you, it's up to you if you do it, just what I've done with mine. I'm going to show you what I've done with mine and show you how I did it. Hopefully I'm going to be able to explain what I did. So if I can just kind of say how this used to operate. When I used to turn this on, if I had it on auxiliary or phono, it would just be auxiliary or phono lit up on the dial, nothing else. The rest of the dial would stay blank as is now. So it was quite dark, black kind of thing. Where normally a receiver that I've got, these low end ones, these low budget ones, these bottom of the range ones, the dial usually stays all lit, everything stays lit, no matter what you got it on phone, auxiliary, etc. It all stays lit. But on here it would only light up if I put it on AM or FM. Something that maybe I didn't like, maybe going to change my mind. I'm probably going to say no, I'll go back to how it is, but just going to show you a little light modification that I've done. So what I'm going to do is turn it on now, and it is different to what it used to be. So if I turn it on, and I've got it on auxiliary, before this green dial would not light up, that would be out, so that would be just black with just auxiliary lit up. But what I've got it now on auxiliary, I've got it so it lights up. So I'm just going to quickly flick over to phono, move the tuning dial out of the way so you can see that, and on phono, as you can see, phono lights up and the rest of the dial does, which didn't happen before. Just phono used to light up before, but I've got the rest of the dial lit up. Now what I could have the actual pointer lit up as well as the tuning meter. I've kind of done it this way. I've done it a little bit different really, I suppose, to what maybe I was going to do on the outset. I was going to have it all lit up. I thought, just to make sure we know that it's on FM or AM, I would have the little dial light up when it is on AM or FM, and the tuner. So if we put it on the tuning dial as well, the tuning meter should I say, tuning meter. So if I did put it for instance on FM, now you could see, hopefully you can catch that, the dial lights up as well as the meter lights up as well. So that is different to how it would be normally. Well, it isn't. If it was on FM, they'd all light up obviously, but going to phono, I've kept the dial lit up, but I've turned off the tuning range, should I say, the tuning range. I kind of get mixed up with all the bits and pieces here as I'm talking through it. But the actual little dial here stays unlit as well as the meter. So I do know now when it's on FM, obviously the phono goes out and this meter lights up, telling me I'm on the tuner part, and the dial lights up as well. So if I go back to auxiliary, that's AM, so both lit up again, and auxiliary, back to auxiliary. So just do it once more time, then I'm going to take it over to the PC and show you how I did that change. So auxiliary normally would be all blank apart from auxiliary, but I've changed that. FM, got the little pointer as well as the meter and the dial. AM, actually it's the other way around, AM was first, now FM, exactly the same. Then onto phono, and the phono lights up as well as the green dial as well, but the light goes out on the actual tuning bar, whatever you want to call it, pointer, and the meter goes out as well. So that's it. So if I turn that off, what I'm going to do now is go over to the PC, going to load it up on there and show you some pictures of what I did. Hopefully you're going to get the gist of it, so let's see how that gets on. Okay, so hopefully you're going to get a gist of what's happening here. I'm going to be able to explain this. If it don't come across, it's my fault, I'm not explaining it properly, but hopefully you may get some kind of idea what I've done through these pictures and me talking about it. I just want to give you an idea what's happening. This is a switch here that's going to indicate what bulbs light up. This is switch 1A, and it's going to be in 4 positions, 1, 2, 3, 4, depending what position it is, depends what bulbs light up. I just want to give you an indication what bulbs what here, if I can. I think this is the phono bulb, I'm almost certain. This is the bulbs that's along the front of the unit. It goes along where the dial is, you know, where it lights up all the numbers for the frequencies. That's these bulbs here. I think there's one too many, but don't worry about that. So we've got phono, the bulbs going across the front display. This bulb here is auxiliary, and this bulb here is the bulb with the little pointer that goes across the dial. That's this bulb here. Now there are different bulbs. Like for instance, these are 7 volt at 200 milliamps. These are the indicators, phono and auxiliary, 7 volt. These volts are 6.3 volts at 250 milliamps. These are the bulbs at the front on the tuning dial, and the actual indicator bulb that's on that little thing that goes across the little pointer is actually a 5 volt bulb. And to compensate for this lower voltage, they've actually put a resistor in series with the switch to make up the circuit. I'll show you that right at the end of the video. I'll just touch on that, but it isn't really that important. It's a little bit unusual on this one. Other receivers would be a little bit more simpler to do if you want to kind of configure them different ways. But I want to give you an idea of what's happening with this here. So when the switch is in one position, it's actually going to light up. Actually, this is the auxiliary. So this is auxiliary and this is phono. They're the wrong way around, these two bulbs. Not that it matters that much, but when it's in position 1, it just lights up the one bulb, in this case auxiliary, and no other bulbs lit up. So we just follow the circuit. We've got 5.7 volts coming in here, through the switch, up here, along there, through the bulb, back down to the ground that's taking it back to the transformer. So the transformer here basically is AC, giving 5.7 volts through the switch. Just one bulb lights up, and that is it. As soon as we put it to number 2 or number 3, doesn't matter which one of the two, as you can see these are both connected, it actually comes through here, goes through the resistor and lights up the tuning dial bulb, that's this bulb here, but also goes through there, comes down here and actually lights up all these other bulbs here, which is the front that's got all the numbers on the radio frequencies. But it doesn't turn on this bulb here or this bulb here. This is not connected. These two bulbs are out of the circuit. As you can see, the circuit goes up here to number 1 and this one goes to number 4. So it's only these bulbs here lit up. So that's the front, the tuning dial. Oh, actually one of these, there is a right note about bulbs here. It's 5 for the front and 1 for the tuning meter. So it's just tell you that as well. So on 2 and 3, it lights up the 5 normal bulbs for the front, which has got the numbers on, the tuning meter, and also comes down here and lights up the 5 volt pointer bulb as well. That's on 2 and 3. And back to number 4, it just comes here and just lights up one bulb, which is the phono. So it doesn't light up any of these. So what I want it to do is when it's in position 1 and 4, I want it to light up all these bulbs as well. But when it's in 2 and 3, I want it to light up the pointer as well. So we know the pointer's on, and also the tuning meter I want to light up as well. So hopefully I'm going to show you how I did this on this particular unit. So if I get my little mouse, I don't want to take too long about it because I know it can get a bit boring, but this is looking inside the unit from top down. Just want to give you, so we know where we are in this unit. This is the selector bank here. These are our bulbs down here. You can't really see them, but they're kind of, as you can see, the unit's facing downwards. This is the front underneath, and these you'll see at the bottom here. This is the bulbs here, the bulbs coming out the back. You'll see them in a minute. I'll show you a nearer picture. But what we want to do, we want to find out, first of all, the supply going to this bank of bulbs. So hopefully this next picture is going to give you a bit more indication what's happening here. This is our banks of bulbs. They're facing this way now, like that. This is the backs of them, and hopefully you can see this. These bulbs are kind of diagonal. So one part of the circuit's here and the other part, and the bulb goes across. So if we can imagine maybe this lolly stick is the bulb, they're kind of in there like that, going across the bulbs. So if you get the idea. So we'd have to have a connection here and a connection here to make them light up. So that's how they are. And they're daisy chained, or actually put in series, but we're going to call it a daisy chain. Hopefully you can see this clear wire here. So this bulb here, one side of it is connected to the next bulb, that's connected to the next bulb, that's connected to the next bulb, just one side of it. So it wouldn't make up a full circuit. So it's just basically this side of the bulb's connected to the next bulb, to the next bulb, to the next bulb. Then it's get taken off here through this white wire here to the transformer that's supplying the 5 volts. And here's the negative right down the bottom corner, but this is on the other side of the bulb. So the bulbs here, for instance, we've got one side of it, the 5 volts here, and the negative is just a 0 volt, shall we call it here. It's AC, but just to make it a little bit easier, 5 volts, 0 volts, our bulb's there so it lights up. So these 0 volts, or the ground, whatever you want to call it, all daisy chained up as well and taken away by this black wire here. So we've got 2 wires, bringing our 5 volts in. One going across the top and one going across the bottom. The bulb's in between them, and that's what lights up when the voltage gets put to this rail here. Obviously, it don't light up all the time. When the voltage actually arrives here, they would light up. Hopefully, we're all on the same page here at the moment. This is a top-down view again. This, the bulbs, the connections here, I've just picked out a few randomly there just to show you. But I want to show you this white wire. So we know one of these wires coming off there is either going to be the ground or it's going to supply the 5 volts. So we've got a black one, so around here somewhere it is. So I take it that's going to be like the earth, the 0 volt, shall we say, and this is the +5. This is AC, not DC, this is AC. So now I want to follow this wire, but you can put a meter across these bulbs. If I go back, if you wanted to, you could put your meter here, put it on an AC, you could put one probe here, and just check you're getting some voltage there. It would be around, what it says 5.7, will be 5.7, around 5.7 volts. But let's go back to the next picture. So we've got one wire here, and I'm having a little bit of a guess that this is probably the positive side of it, not the ground, being the white lead. So I want to trace where that's going to. It's obviously going to a switch somewhere to turn them on and off. So it goes into the board, it went underneath, and I traced it. It didn't go far. Here it is here, that white wire. It went underneath, and it popped up over here. And it pops up just in this corner here, and goes to the second. We've got some tabs here. You may not be able to see it on the screen, but we've got some tabs here. You'll see it in a minute. I'll go closer. You've got some tabs off of this switch. 1, 2, 3, 4 tabs at the cross there. And that's the 4 positions of the switch at the top there. So this is where it goes. It goes underneath and to here. So I know that's where it goes. This is the switch. So now I've got to work out which position this switch is in, what it's doing, that kind of thing. So that's where it goes. So I'm just going to confirm that. I'm going to put my meter here. The meter goes on the black part. It doesn't go on the white part. It goes on the other side of this. So if I get this picture back up here, I'm putting my meter here on the black. Any one of these here down the bottom where the black wire goes, we call that 0 or ground. And now I'm looking for, where are we? I'm looking for the 6 volts or 5.7 coming into it. So this is the wire that come through. I'm putting it on there. And I'm going to turn the unit on. Be careful when you turn it on, you don't stick your hands in and all that. It can be dangerous, obviously. So I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to put it on auxiliary, and I'm expecting no volts to be on it. I'm expecting this to read no volts, which it is, because it don't actually give any voltage to that wire that's going to light these bulbs up along the front where the tuner dial is, all the numbers. It's not going to light them up until I put it on FM or AM. So I've got it on auxiliary, nothing. So now I'm going to turn it to, now I think it's AM. It can be AM or FM, but I think I put it on AM here, AM or FM, and there you can see that suddenly that wire there is getting supplied with 5.7 volts, and it's coming through here to the other side here, like I said, and it will light them bulbs up. And hopefully you can see they've actually lit up the bulbs inside. They've lit up a little bit inside. So if I go back to the other picture, and all of a sudden I go here, and you can see they've lit up. So that's the bulbs lit up. Just going to go across to Phono, going to put it in position 4, Phono, and as you can see, these are unlit now, and we're getting 0 volts on that particular connection there, the second one in on this particular receiver. So here's a close-up of them there. This is the wire that's coming in from underneath the board from the lower bulbs down here. It's coming up here and it's coming up here. I've labelled it up, bulbs. This wire here, this one here, I've labelled up here, it's coming from the transformer into there. So I've worked the way back, I've followed that wire through, and I can see it's going to the transformer. A bit of an educated guess anyway. I mean, you can backtrack to try and find out where it is, but it is a bit of an educated guess. We must be having some voltage coming into this switch, somewhere along this switch, to supply that 5.7 volts. But you can trace it back yourself to the transformer. And what else you can do, just to confirm it as well, you can actually, this is ground again. I've just put it to one of these bulbs. Where the black lead was, down to ground, but you can put it on the chassis wherever you want, but down to ground on one of the bulbs. And where that's just coming, that lead where I'm kind of guessing, but I followed it through to the transformer, that lead there, I put my probe on there, one to ground. So once I turn the unit on the front, press the main switch on the front, no matter where I've got the selector switch, AM, FM, Phono, it doesn't matter. As it's coming in, I will be getting the voltage from that transformer will be coming there, it will be arriving there, ready to be switched out to the different positions on the switch. So I've just double checked that, and yes, as soon as I turn it on, no matter where I've got the switch, I've got the 6.1 volts. You may think that's funny, 6.1, but it's actually giving out 5.7. Because we've got no load, the bulbs ain't on it, they're not drawing any current, it will be 6.1. As soon as you turn it on, that will drop to 5.7, just to let you know that, just in case you're wondering what's happened. So what I want to do now is, if I can go back a couple of pictures here. So I know the 6 volts is here, well, a 5.7 when it's got a load on is here, and my one that I want to light up in row of lamps at the front don't come on until I move the switch over to position 2. It's just making a connection between here where the voltage is coming in and this here where it's going towards the bulb. So all I want to do is really move this wire over to here, and that connection will always be there. No matter where the switch is, that connection will be there. So as soon as I turn the unit on, the 6.1, but we call it 5.7 volts is coming in, and it'll be straight away going straight back out. If I move that wire over to here, straight back out to the bulb. So it'll be on all the time. Then bulbs will be on all the time. So that's what I did next. As you can see, I've moved this wire here, I've unsoldered it from here. The wire that was going to me bulbs, I'm sorry, it's this wire here that was going to me bulbs. This one's coming from the transformer. I just moved it across from there. I've left it unsoldered a bit so you can see where it is, onto there. So I've just moved it straight across, thus making the connection all the time. As soon as I turn the unit on, that voltage is going to go to that bulb. So I'm not too sure what's happening next here. I don't want to get ahead of myself. So that's it. So no matter what now, the front will light up, them front units will light up, but also the tuner meter, the little meter that gives you the signal, that would light up as well, because that is connected with all these bulbs here. If I can just backtrack a bit, all these bulbs are daisy chained up. Where did I show you the daisy chain? Here's all the daisy chain, and a couple of wires actually go off here. Is it that wire? It's actually down the other end, I think, but the 2 of these follow onto my tuning meter as well. So when these light up, my tuning meter lights up as well. So if I can go to my tuning meter, which is here, it's a bit better picture actually. You can see the black wire went to, this is my tuning meter, my bulb would be there like so, one side, the other side, there's the black side coming off of here, the black wire onto that side, and I had a white wire coming off of here. Don't forget, these are in series, like a train line really, one's going to one, one's going to the other. My white wire was coming off and going to the other side, but I didn't want this to light up at the same time as all the others. I wanted this separate. So now, if I turned it on, all the bulbs will light up on the actual, where all the numbers are on your tuning dial, but the actual tuning meter would not light up because it hasn't got a connection. I've disconnected it now. But I want it to light up only when it's on AM or FM. So I'll put a wire on it now. This is a wire I've put on there myself. And we're going to take this over to that switch into a position that we know it's only going to light up when it's in position 2 and 3, i.e. AM or FM. So we take it over to my switch. Here it comes here underneath. And I'll put it up to the original position. This is the original position that the original wire was first of all, when we very first started this. And we know in this position here, this is position 2. So you've got position 1, 2, 3, 4. In position 2, we know it only lights up in position 2. So when I've got it on AM or FM, which is position 2 and 3, this would light up. These are connected together as well, part through this resistor. So yeah, this would light up basically. Let's try and keep it simple. This would only light up when it's in position 2 and 3. So we'd only get any voltage go to that bulb when it's in position 2 and 3. A little bit complicated, but hopefully you're following that. Now, if I go back to this, this is the resistor I'm talking about in this position here. If I go to here, this is this, remember this little resistor that knocked the voltage down from 5.7 to 5 volts. I just want to show you where that is in the circuit. There it is there. So we know from this wire here, this black wire underneath is only going to be 5 volts going to that bulb when it's in position 2 or 3. It's a little bit weird to work out, but that's what it is. It's sitting on this kind of flat pan thing, this switch that's going round. I haven't got anything really to explain, but it's like a slice of copper, and it only gets in certain positions. You're going to have to kind of trust me on this, but this is position 1, this is position 2 and 3. It's just the way it's wired up, and this takes the 5 volts off, and when it gets to position 4, it goes over to here and lights up the Phono bulb, and the others go out. It's just the way the switch is made up. So what I'm going to do now is, yeah, just there is that resistor that I showed you earlier, and just to show you that, now I've put it in position 2 or 3, so it's on the AM or FM, doesn't matter which one. As you can see, that voltage drops down to actually 4.5 volts, so just under that 5 to light up that tuner dial bulb. Now that I probably haven't explained it well, but you've got an idea. If you've got this receiver, you'll be able to do this receiver. This is how I've done this receiver here. You may have to backtrack my video if you've got to think about doing it yourself, but basically you need to find out where the voltage is coming in off the transformer, where it's going out to the bulbs, and what position the switch is in to change it. And on here, it was fairly straightforward, being, if I can get another picture up closer to that switch, it was fairly straightforward. Like I say, you know, after a little bit of trial and error, more judgment really, but we know this is position 1, 2, 3 and 4. A bit misleading because you think this is position 1, 2, 3, that tuner dial only comes up on 3, but it doesn't. As soon as this gets connected, it comes up as well. It's just the way the switch is wired up. But that's how I found it. I think the main thing is find out where the wire is coming from the bulbs, which was this wire here. Remember, it come underneath to the bulbs. This wire here was coming from the transformer, and to make the connection, I've just moved that wire over there so it's on all the time. So that's how I've rigged up mine. Like I say, if you're not used to it, it may be it may sound a bit complicated. It's not complicated, it's just the way I'm explaining it's probably complicated, but hopefully you may get something out of it. Anyway, this is what I did with this receiver. If you've got another receiver, it's going to be a little bit more awkward maybe for you to suss things out. But saying that, if you haven't got another receiver, I want to try and keep it short as possible, you probably haven't got something like this where you've got a resistor as well getting into the story. So I mean, I could change this around, that maybe this don't light up at a certain stage or something like it. There's ways of doing different things, different combinations kind of thing, but that's the combination I've gone for, but made it a little bit more awkward. It's got this little resistor in there as well, but it is finding that switch where these voltages are going to. Yeah, this video probably is really for people who's got this receiver that wanted to do something similar, because on another receiver it's probably going to be slightly different, and the way I've explained it probably ain't that great, but a few people, one person for particular, did want to see how I did it on here, so I thought it's worth putting a video out. I do apologise that maybe it hasn't come up as clear as it could, but it is kind of hard explaining it, but hopefully you've got some kind of idea out of that. That is it. I'll say thank you for watching, and until the next video, I'll see you all soon.